Morning, boss.
This week's income from the sponsors has cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
Hey fantastic people, welcome back to F1ntastic Gaming. You can see we're back with the F1 2020 My Team Career Series, and this is the series finale. This is the last episode we're gonna have of the F1 2020 My Team series. You can see we're getting into the work straight away. We're doing some admin. Obviously this is the last episode, but because I did play another season and because it is still an episode of the career, we're gonna still do the normal admin stuff. We filled in the activity timeline. Now we're gonna go to the facilities area, because I feel like we have more than enough money to buy some facility upgrades. We bought quality control on both the chassis and the aero facilities. Now moving on to the R&D tree, you can see that we can get one adaptation. We can get more adaptations. We can adapt more parts because we don't have enough resource points, but hopefully we get enough resource points to adapt at least one more part. We do have 2 more upgrades on the way that I think will deliver before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'm not sure about that, but one more important thing is that one of the engine components, the ICE, is quite worn out, but at that moment I decided not to go for a new one, because I think that would result in a penalty being given. I think 5 place or 10 place grid penalty, and I don't want that. You can see we did sign with James VS and Sudo for our new sponsors, and this is the series finale livery. I am so excited to race in this livery because I think it looks awesome. It has a very unique look to it. It sticks to the F1ntastic Racing color theme of black and red, but yeah, I think it just looks really great. Can't wait to see what it looks like out on track. And you can see as we come through the activity timeline, there's a whole lot of green. Obviously green means good, so all the upgrades, all the car upgrades, all the facility upgrades, all the activities, they're all coming through, they're all happening, which is really good for us. And this is one of the greatest things, or something that I'm really happy about, is that we've jumped AlphaTauri on the R&D performance chart. I'll show you a little bit more about that later. For now, we're gonna get one of the aero parts adapted because we do have enough resource points for one adaptation. You can see we do get this aero part adapted, and there are 2 parts now, 1 aero, 1 engine part left to be adapted, so hopefully we can get that done. And now we're back at the performance update, the performance chart, and you can see we've jumped AlphaTauri. We're at the rear end of the midfield now. In terms of the championship standings, we're actually at the top of the midfield, but in terms of the pace of the car itself, we are, you know, towards the rear of the midfield, which is, I think that's good enough. I think that's really good for one season. So yeah, I'm really proud of that. This is the season results now, which we're looking at. You can see we've had a great season. Most of the time we're finishing around P4, P5 type, sometimes P6. But yeah, it's been a fantastic season. 4 trophies, which is 2 podiums and 2 wins. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing. I mean, obviously last episode was a huge low point with that DNF, but I'm still super proud of the season. I'm still super proud of what we've achieved, and I'm gonna go into this finale fully focused, fully motivated. But before that, I'm actually gonna take a look at this car, because this car looks amazing from the cockpit. I mean, look at that design. It's so complicated, but I think it looks absolutely amazing. In terms of our performance on track, we struggled in practice 1, but in practice 2 we were at the top of the standings for a long time, but at the end Lewis Hamilton just pipped us to the top of the standings in practice 2, so we were very close with Hamilton on pace, which is absolutely amazing. It's really good for us, really motivating me for qualifying. But we do have a problem. You can see that the ICE is too worn out, so we replaced the third ICE with the first one, one that we used at the beginning of the season, because I don't want to get a new one because that will cause a grid penalty. Coming to the end of FP3, and you can see that when we come across the line, I was pushing to the limit, and we actually come first in FP3 by a massive margin of 1 second. Wow, we had a 1 second margin. That is unbelievable. That is a huge margin. That is hugely optimistic coming into qualifying. You can see we did get a load of resource points from the practice sessions. Obviously my teammate Jordan King didn't get many because that's how he's been through the whole season. I think the F2 teammates, they don't really get that many resource points. But yeah, we can adapt one part, and that's what I have to decide, whether I'm gonna adapt the engine part or the aero part. And I think I'm definitely gonna go for the aero part, because the engine part I feel is not that important. We're not that far behind in terms of our engine, so I wouldn't mind buying that one again. But yeah, the aero part definitely needed to adapt that one. And a few tips from Jeff about the Yas Marina circuit. He's basically saying not to push too hard, especially at that left right left chicane. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge of qualifying, and I'm looking forward to see how fast I can go and to try and put it on pole. Really, I just want to qualify as high as possible and do my best. So I'm going into qualifying, and I'm feeling really optimistic. As you saw earlier, we did pretty well in practice 3 and practice 2, so we were looking really strong. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to maybe challenging the Mercedes cars or the Red Bulls, because I really feel that we have the pace for it. I'm really feeling this car right now. I'm really feeling happy about it. But on our first flying lap, there's traffic ahead of us. There's Danny Kvyat, who ruined our qualifying in episode 19, but he actually gets out of the way here, so that's pretty good from the AI. That's great to see, because he was on an out lap. He's not on an actual quali lap, so he is obliged to get out of the way, which is exactly what he does. But yeah, he did ruin our lap a little bit. Obviously it's not the AI's fault, but yeah, the dirty air did affect us a little bit. We still put in the fastest lap, which is pretty good, but I definitely feel like we can go faster. And yeah, Vettel and Bottas definitely did go faster. They're about 1.5 tenths ahead of us, Vettel, so yeah, he was definitely going faster. But now we're gonna start our second qualifying lap. Hopefully there's no traffic this time, and hopefully it's a good lap, it's a fast lap. But yeah, coming through the first corner we do gain time, although coming through the second corner we gain time again. But yeah, it's very up and down for now, but I'm looking to make at least some improvement, around 1 or 2 tenths. But you can see we get a load of understeer, and then I just can't control the car and I have to cut that corner. Very unfortunate. We do gain time from it. It's still a valid lap for now, but yeah, I definitely didn't want to do that. I ended up doing that, and you can see here, I don't know how I cut the corner. I think I'm braking a little bit too early, and I cut the corner again, so I didn't realize how much grip the car had, so I was braking quite early and turning in quite early, which is why I think we went all 4 wheels off the track, maybe, or maybe all 4 wheels on the inside of the curb. So maybe that's why we got those track limits warnings. But yeah, that was a pretty good lap, maybe because of the track limits. I don't know, it was still a legal lap, so it still counts. But the thing that I'm worried about is that I won't be able to beat that lap on the third lap, which means we might have to rely on that lap to give us the top qualifying position. So I'm not sure whether we're gonna be able to get pole. And yes, we get pole position. In the last episode of this My Team series, we achieved pole position. It's a fantastic achievement. What a qualifying. I mean, obviously quite controversial, because that second lap, which was our pole lap, did have some warnings, but it was still a legal lap. 5 tenths of a second ahead of Danny Ricciardo in second, which is a great gap, and obviously it's a great quali for Ricciardo in the Renault, although he barely beat Vettel to second. So yeah, it's gonna be a great race. That quali was absolutely crazy. And yeah, a few tips from Jeff again, to be aggressive at the start, use overtake mode, and yeah, not too aggressive. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the start. I'm looking forward to see what we can do in the series finale. And yeah, this is hugely optimistic, getting pole position. Huge motivation for me. So hopefully we can perform well in the race. Hopefully our qualifying performance can carry on to the race. It's the season finale. Let's go for it.
As we get underway at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, we have 21 corners here at the Yas Marina circuit, 12 to the left and 9 to the right. It's a total lap distance of just over 3.4 miles. There are 2 long back straights opening up some passing opportunities into the braking zones, and we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles an hour. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off with the title already in the bag.
It really is well-deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well-managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Falcon lines up on pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton and Albon, Sainz, Kvyat, Bottas and Lance Stroll, Norris, Gasly, Sergio Perez and King, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty. Verstappen, Magnussen and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
It's been a long season, but let's try to end it on a high note.
That is exactly what I'm going for. That is exactly what I want to do. I want to end the series on a high note. We are going to be pitting pretty early in this race because the soft tires, I think they're going to wear out pretty fast. We fill up the car with plenty of fuel, and I have gone for a 7-7 setup because I feel like I need that extra downforce. And yeah, I think for the first time in this series, I am going to be, starting the formation lap in first. I am going to be starting on pole position. I mean, I've started on pole position at the Singapore Grand Prix, but the recordings are not there for that. That wasn't actually there in the video because the recordings were deleted. Again, a major low point in the series. But yeah, for some reason the cars coming onto the cars have come onto the grid kind of like sideways and slanting. I don't know why that happened. It's quite strange. I've never seen it before on this game. But yeah, let's go to 5 red lights for the F1 2020 My Team Series finale. It's lights out and away we go. You can see we got a great start. We're far ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. We're down into turn 1. We have a clear lead. We got a bit of understeer, but it was a fantastic start for us. It was a great start to the season finale, to the last race on F1 2020. But yeah, it was a great start so far. Daniel Ricciardo manages to stay ahead of Sebastian Vettel by a small margin. They were very close to turn 1. We don't do too well coming through the chicane and into the hairpin. Ricciardo gains a lot of time because he definitely took a better racing line, but at the exit of the hairpin we seem to have the upper hand. We've used the dirty air to our advantage, but I don't know for how long we can hold this lead because already on lap number 1 Ricciardo is coming at us at a rate of knots. You can see we have to block him off, but we leave him the space eventually. He tries to go around the outside of the chicane, down into the chicane. We have the inside line, round the outside of the second part of the chicane. We get the lead back after a fantastic battle right there. It was a really nice battle, but the battle is still not over yet because Vettel and Ricciardo are both looking really strong. Ricciardo is still in our slipstream, Vettel in Ricciardo's slipstream, but I don't think that straight was long enough for Ricciardo because into the chicane we went and we're still ahead, but we get a huge wall of understeer. Not a great corner for us as we're into the final sector, and Ricciardo, he nearly gets past us, he nearly comes alongside us, but I don't think there was enough space there. That's why he couldn't actually go for a move. And yeah, we're going off the track a little bit as we're struggling a little bit on the first lap to get used to these tires, and maybe these tires are a little bit worn. But yeah, we're not having a great first lap coming through the hairpin. This hairpin I really don't like, and you can see we get a lot of oversteer. We get a horrible exit. We're using the overtake mode. The good thing is Ricciardo was out of the slipstream, but now he's back in the slipstream and he's gaining and gaining. He's alongside us now. You can see he easily gets past. For some reason his engine is so much better, and we have to go for a huge dive bomb around the outside. You can see we nearly went off the track. We barely keep it on the track, and at the second part of the chicane Ricciardo does a textbook switchback move. We're side by side coming down the main straight, and Ricciardo's not the only one. Sebastian Vettel wants that position too. He wants to get past me, but down into the second chicane at the end of the second straight we make a huge dive bomb and we manage to stay ahead. This is a ding dong battle, and it's only lap 2 of I think 15 lap race, a 14 lap race. It's only lap 2 and Ricciardo's already chasing after me. Onto lap 3 now. DRS is enabled. Way worse for us because now Ricciardo has even more overspeed. You can see he just flies past. He makes it look effortless, but he locks up down into the chicane, which allows us to take back the lead of the race. And yeah, out of the chicane we go. We get a good exit. Jeff gives us a new strategy option, but no, I'm not going to pit a lap early because I think that would be way too early. By the end of the race our tires would be dead. But onto the problem at hand. Ricciardo down into turn 10 goes for a dive bomb. We defend around the outside line, which turns to the inside and then the outside for the next next couple of corners. But yeah, let's look at the replay of that, because you can see we were swerving around a little bit, and he got really close to getting past us, and we actually made a bit of contact, which is why we could stay ahead. But yeah, coming through the corners after the chicane, you can see that he got really close to getting past us. That Renault has some serious pace, some really worrying pace. So yeah, we're gonna have to watch out, because again we get understeer, and again the proximity arrow turns red because Ricciardo has a look. He doesn't go for the move, but we're getting so much understeer through this last sector, and yeah, it's just not going well. But coming to lap number 4, you can see we actually get a great exit out of the hairpin, whereas Ricciardo doesn't get the best exit. We create a little bit of a gap. Hopefully it should be enough, but I don't think it will be enough, because Ricciardo has DRS down this straight, down this long straight. But yeah, it is enough of a gap. But through the chicane of turns 8 and 9, we have to get a really good exit out of turn 9, otherwise Ricciardo's gonna get straight past us down into turn 10. But luckily we do get a good exit. But still, Ricciardo with DRS, probably using overtake mode, he goes for the move around the outside as we defend the inside line, and we actually don't let him go around the outside. We play it very aggressively. We're very aggressive with our racing line and not letting him past. So yeah, that was really close. Jeff was telling me earlier about the engine wearing out. The ICE is wearing out, and as we go on to lap number 5, we are gonna pit this lap. I am gonna push to the absolute limit now, because I want this to be the perfect in lap. I want the strategy to go well, because if the strategy doesn't go well, then we're gonna lose the lead, because I don't think I can maintain the lead from a very fast Daniel Ricciardo throughout an entire race. So yeah, we gotta be really careful. We really have a good in lap. We do get a green first sector, so we're actually doing pretty well for now. We need to get a good exit. It's a mediocre exit out of the hairpin. Ricciardo is trying to get in the slipstream. I keep moving on the track to make sure that he doesn't get in the slipstream, but he's getting the slipstream. He's got overtake mode, he's got DRS, because he's within 1 second. Down to turn 8, he can't get past. Again, turn 9 exit, very crucial, and we get a terrible exit. We don't do well through turn 9, and down this back straight, we're gonna have to be very careful, because Ricciardo's looking seriously really strong, and I don't know how we're gonna keep him by. And again, he goes for the move around the outside. We leave him the space because he is alongside, but through the chicane he actually gets past, and then we have to make a huge switchback. He doesn't let us do the switchback, he doesn't leave the space, but around the outside of turn 13 we make a beautiful move. Look at the replay cameras, just so smooth around the outside. Wow, that was a beautiful move. Really proud of that overtake. And yeah, we're gonna come into the pits now. It's a tricky pit entry, because you know, it's kind of coming through a corner, but it's much narrower because it's a pit entry. And then we slow it right down. We slow it right down for the, you know, the pit lane speed limit. We pull into the box for a fresh set of medium tires, and it's quite a slow stop. I mean, 2.5 seconds. It's not actually super slow, but it's not the best stop. It's like a it's a mediocre stop. But yeah, at least the pit crew didn't do a 3-second stop like they did at Mexico when it really mattered. They did a 3-second stop. Here it really matters, but it's not a bad stop, so it's alright. But yeah, we get a purple second sector, which proves that we have a lot of pace on these fresh tires. I mean, I gotta tell you, I was loving these fresh tires. When you have fresh tires around Abu Dhabi, some of the corners can feel really great, like that chicane. But yeah, the fresh tires are doing absolute wonders. Purple second sector because we're going really fast. But now we've actually caught up to Kevin Magnussen in the Haas, so he might hold us up a little bit. But the fact that we've caught up to him shows that we have some really good pace. We gained 3 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds to catch up to him. He nearly made contact with us there. He nearly blocked us off. But luckily he just pulled into the pits and we didn't make any contact. That was very close. A bunch of cars pulled into the pits, including Sebastian Vettel, who was in P3 right behind Daniel Ricciardo. And you can see that Sebastian Vettel is still coming out of the pit lane as we come through. I think that's turn 3 or turn 4. So yeah, Sebastian Vettel still in the pits. He's 4 seconds behind us. That is a huge gap. Before he was just a second behind us, so we've gained 3 entire seconds on the Ferrari by just pitting, I think, 1 or 2 laps earlier. Yeah, we just pitted a lap earlier and we gained so much time. And talking about gaining time, we caught up to Romain Grosjean and Nicholas Latifi. Grosjean in the Haas and Latifi in the Williams. You can see we did get a purple second sector again. We're going really fast. We can go for the fastest lap, but instead we have to go for a dive bomb because the traffic is really holding me up. These cars are really slow, and yeah, they're on all soft tires, so they have absolutely no pace. We've caught up to Latifi, and we make a huge dive bomb down the inside of the penultimate corner. I just had to do it. I was just getting so tired of these slow cars, and yeah, I didn't want to stick behind them any longer. We do get the fastest lap. We don't have any purple sectors. I think they're just green sectors, but still overall it is the fastest lap of the race, and we're into the lead because Leclerc in second place comes out of the pits. Actually, he's still in the pits because Vettel is now in second place. I wonder where Ricciardo's gone. I'm still not sure about Ricciardo, and oh my god.
You serious?
So first of all, Ricciardo is on the hard tires, which is a terrible decision because those tires are super slow, and in a 25% race you really don't need to go on the hard tires. Second of all, yeah, he actually has an okay stop, but he's stuck in the pits. Oh my goodness, that's terrible for Ricciardo. It's not really his fault because he got stuck in the pits because there were cars ahead, so he was stuck in the box and he couldn't release until the cars went ahead. So now he's way behind. He's down in like P6 types because he is right behind the McLaren of Carlos Sainz. So yeah, that's terrible for Ricciardo, not his fault. And yeah, it's great for us though, because now we have a 3.8 second gap to Vettel, which seems to be extending. We do get a track limits warning for the same reason that we got a warning in our qualifying lap. I think we turned in too early, so yeah, we did get a warning for that. We do maintain our gap to Vettel. We're able to maintain our gap to Vettel, which is very good. It's very important because I don't want to, I don't want to have to battle Vettel any longer. And as I was saying, I think Ricciardo's actually down like P7, not P6. I think he's behind an AlphaTauri who's behind Sainz. So yeah, Ricciardo, he lost places with the hard tires clearly, and the hard tires are clearly not doing him any favors. So yeah, he's really not doing well on those hard tires, and it's a terrible stop for him. But yeah, moving on with our race now, the gap has gone down to Vettel behind. We're on lap number 11 now, and I actually decided to check out what happened with Ricciardo. Why is he so far down the order? Because I didn't actually know that he had a horrible stop until after the race when I checked the replay cameras. So you can see he had a pretty normal pit stop. It's just that he was stuck in the box, and that doesn't count in pit stop time because his tires were changed and everything. But yeah, he was stuck in the box, and he's down in P7, as I told you guys earlier, behind an AlphaTauri. And yeah, I did quite a bit of investigating because I was so surprised that Ricciardo, who had so much pace in the first stint, he's down in P7. I was very surprised, but I did learn after the race when I looked at the replay cameras that Ricciardo indeed had a horrible pit stop because he was stuck in the pits. But yeah, on lap number 12 now, we've got 2 laps left in the race after this lap, but far behind us, Lewis Hamilton is going for a move down the inside into turn 8. He gets past before turn 8 because he had DRS, and he gets past Charles Leclerc, and Hamilton is now up into the podium places. And on that very same lap, just later on in the lap, we find out that George Russell has retired from the session. You can see his engine is just gone. I mean, that's a real shame that this happens to the AI, and this really never happens to the player. His engine just goes randomly, and yeah, he just has to pull over because there's smoke coming out of his engine. It's a real shame that in our last episode George Russell won't finish the race. But yeah, continuing on with our race, you can see that the gap behind to Sebastian Vettel is going down really fast, and it's not looking good.
At the moment, the car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap.
That is not good news. That means we need to pick up the pace, because if Vettel catches at that rate, if he catches us at a second per lap, he's pretty much gonna catch up to us by the time we reach the finish line. So yeah, this is gonna be absolutely insane. It's gonna be very tight unless we maintain our pace, because I think we can maintain our pace. After that, hearing that radio message, I realized that yeah, I can't let this gap go down any further. I gotta push hard, and that's why I've been losing so much time. I was in lean mix because I saw that I had a little bit less fuel, so I went lean mix. So without realizing it, I actually forgot completely that I was in lean mix. But we're coming through the final corner on lap number 13 now, and now as we go into the final lap, you can see I'm in nose cam, and I changed to cockpit cam. Yes guys, I am going back to this tradition. You may have heard in one of my previous videos that on F1 games before F1 2020, I had this tradition where on the final lap of the race, I would go in cockpit mode. And here in the season finale, in the series finale, in the last race on F1 2020, in the last episode of F1 2020, my team, I go into cockpit mode. Obviously, that's not such a good thing for my race pace because Sebastian Vettel has really caught up to us. I mean, he's under a second now behind now, and you can see that he has DRS. We're using overtake mode, we're looking in our mirrors, we go back to the middle just to make sure we don't crash, and he goes for a move down the inside. We outbrake ourselves, we go a little bit wide, but then through the second corner of the chicane through turn 9, we take the lead back, and now we have to get this straight absolutely perfect. I'm so tempted to change camera angles, but I keep it in cockpit. You can see down into turn 10 this is, he can get past us, but before that, you can look at the replay cameras. You can see that I'm kind of, confused when I'm in cockpit mode because I'm not exactly aware of where I am, of where the car is. But yeah, down into turn 10, you can see that Vettel cannot get past us. He just isn't close enough. He doesn't have the straight line speed. We get a corner cutting warning, which is very risky because if we get another warning, we're gonna get a penalty. So yeah, it is very, very risky. We just have to be very careful. We don't have to push too hard. And yeah, maybe I shouldn't have gone in cockpit mode because I seriously jeopardized this lead. But we're coming through the final sector. This feels absolutely amazing. For somehow this final sector, which I was struggling in the early laps, I'm actually doing really well in cockpit mode. But now we're coming through the penultimate corner. You can see that we've held off all the attacks. We've had a crazy series finale. We've had a crazy series overall, and we come across the line to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
What a season. Great work this year. Really great work. It's been hard at times, but we've come through.
Oh, what a race. What a season. Absolutely insane. Lewis Hamilton gets driver of the day. I think he definitely deserves that. And again, we can see this animation of Valtteri Bottas celebrating because he did win the driver's title. He's won the driver's title in our career mode save. Not very realistic looking at his current pace in real life. He doesn't look like he's gonna win the title. But yeah, it's been a fantastic race. It's been such a journey to get to this level where we can win the season finale, we can win the series finale. It feels absolutely amazing to win this race. And yeah, I'm just so happy right now. Can't wait to see my podium emote up there celebrating.
Clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
Well, we've done it. I mean, we've won the series finale. What more could I ask for? What a way to end the series. Our teammate Jordan King finishes P14. I think it's his highest or maybe second highest finish ever. It's a great finish for him, and yeah, great finish for Jordan King. And Max Verstappen finishes in P16. That means we beat Verstappen. We beat Verstappen to third in the driver's standings by a measly 4 points. What an achievement. And obviously we finished at the top of the midfield in the constructors, but we beat Verstappen to third in the driver's standing, best of the rest. Absolutely fantastic. Only the Mercedes drivers ahead of us. I mean, yeah, I still can't believe we actually did it. Obviously we get a lot of cash because we achieve all our sponsor goals, a lot of acclaim after winning that race. We do have some damage deductions because we did make a bit of contact with some drivers like Daniel Ricciardo, and we have plenty of cash for next season to get a nice teammate. And yeah, I think it was a perfect series finale. And it's been such an amazing journey. It's been such an unforgettable journey to the series finale. 22 races. I don't think 22 episodes because some of the recordings were deleted, so I think it's 21 episodes instead. But yeah, there have been some serious high points, serious low points, loads of action, loads of drama, loads of madness. It's been it's been very special. I mean, obviously for me it's the first series I've ever done on the channel, because I started I've started a year ago. I literally started this channel a year ago, and yeah, my first series is my first series finale ever, and it's super special, and I'm so happy that I could end this series with a win. I mean, that's just, and obviously beating Verstappen to third in the driver's standing. So yeah, 2 huge achievements in one episode. That's just amazing, and I hope you guys enjoyed this journey, and I hope you guys found this series as memorable and as exciting as I did. I mean, playing these episodes, seeing the progression, and you know, actually doing the progression of F1ntastic Racing from beginning to the end has been amazing, and it's been a great journey. I hope you guys are as excited for F1 2021 as I am. I can't wait for Breaking Point. I can't wait to start that series, to start the Breaking Point story mode, and I hope you enjoyed this video. This is F1ntastic Gaming.